Hello student, welcome to our online YouTube channel. Today we are going to understand about your chapter called acid, base and salt. So before going to start this chapter, we have to understand the basics of this chapter. So we need to understand what are acid, what are base and what are salt. So in general, what are acids? Acids are the substance which are sour to taste. Sour to taste are called as acid. मीन्स ऐसे सब्सटेंस जो टेस्ट में हमको खट्टे लगेंगे, ऐसे सब्सटेंस को हम बोलेंगे एसिड. सो ये तो हो गया ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ टेस्ट. But there are so many acids, they are very poisonous, so we cannot taste them. So on that condition we have to identify the given substance by the different method. Like suppose we have the sample liquid, and we have to test this liquid with the help of litmus paper. So we have two types of litmus paper. So litmus paper are nothing but the indicators. Those paper, when they are going to dip in the given solution, they changes color according to the acid, base or salt. So we have two types of litmus paper. The first litmus paper is blue colored, so we will call it blue litmus paper, and another is red litmus paper. So if we will dip this blue litmus paper over here, this is the litmus paper, this is the strips of litmus paper. If we will take one litmus paper of blue color and if we will dip here, if it changes red in color, so if suppose this is the acid and if we will dip this blue litmus paper in the solution of acid, then blue litmus paper turns into red color. So we can say what are acids? Acids are the substance which are sour to taste. This is the first condition. What is second condition? They turns blue litmus paper into red. Acid turns blue litmus paper to red. So we can say those substance they changes the color of blue litmus paper to red are called as acids. Okay, so this is the test for acid. So acid turns blue litmus paper to red. Then suppose we are taking example of HCl. It is hydrochloric acid. What is it? It is hydrochloric acid. So if we will dissolve this acid in water, then we will get the solution of hydrochloric acid. That means we will get aqueous solution of HCl. So we have to write HCl and AQ. AQ is the representation of aqueous. Aqueous means aqua and aqua means water. Okay, so we can say this is the solution of HCl in water. So it is the aqueous solution of water. So when acids they dissolve in water, they breaks down. So what will be the reaction? See, when HCl is dissolved in water, it breaks down to form H positive ion and chlorine negative ion. They dissociates to form ion. This process is called as ionization. or you can say HCl get dissociate when dissolved in water to form ions. Here this H positive ion then further reacts with water molecule. This H positive ion further reacts with water molecule to form hydronium ion. It is H3O positive. It is H3O positive. What is it? It is hydronium ion. Hydronium ion. Okay, so we can say those substance they releases H positive ion, and when reacts with water they form hydronium ion are called as acids. So this is the third condition for acid. Those substance which releases H positive ion, which gives H positive ion on dissolving in water, and which reacts with water molecule. H2O means water, so water molecule to form hydronium ion, that is H3O positive, are called as acids. So here there are three different conditions so that we can detect the given compounds are acid, base or salt. So these three tests are for acids. So what are acid? Acid are the substance which are sour to taste. हम उनको टेस्ट करेंगे और वो हमको टेस्ट में खट्टे लगेंगे. लाइक अनियन की लेमन की बात करेंगे. सो लेमन कैसा होता है? खट्टा होता है. टमाटो कैसा होता है? खट्टा होता है. तो ये सारे के सारे सब्सटेंस में क्या है? एसिड है. टेमरिंड इमली जो होती है इनमें टार्टरिक एसिड होता है. दैट मीन्स अगेन वो भी कैसा होता है? सॉवर टू टेस्ट. दैट्स व्हाई दे आर कॉल्ड एज एसिड. सो एसिड्स आर द सब्सटेंस विच आर सॉवर टू टेस्ट. सॉवर का मतलब होता है खट्टा. देन acid turns blue litmus paper into red. Okay, then those substance which gives H positive ion, it is very important, they gives H positive ion when they give H positive ion when they dissolve in water. Okay, and which reacts mean who? H positive ion reacts with water molecule to form hydronium ion are called as acids. All these conditions is for acid. So we will take few examples of acid. So example HCl, it is hydrochloric acid. H2SO4 is sulfuric acid. Then HNO3 is nitric acid. Then CH3COOH is ethanoic acid. This ethanoic acid, it is also called as acetic acid. It is also called as acetic acid, and 10%, 4 to 10% aqueous solution of acetic acid is called as vinegar. You know the Chinese food कैसे बनाते हैं? सो चाइनीज फूड में टमाटोज ऐड नहीं होता. सो चाइनीज फूड में सॉवर टेस्ट प्रोवाइड करने के लिए वहाँ पर एक बॉटल से वो लिक्विड डालते हैं वाटर कलर का, दैट वाटर इज नथिंग बट एसिटिक एसिड, वहाँ पर वाटर में वो 10% अबाउट एक्वियस सॉल्यूशन होता है, हम उसी को बोलते हैं विनेगर। क्या बोलते हैं? विनेगर। सो डिफरेंट रेंज में प्रेजेंट रहता है, 4 to 10% एक्वियस सॉल्यूशन ऑफ एसिडिक एसिड इज कॉल्ड एज विनेगर, एंड विनेगर विच इज यूज्ड मोस्टली इन चाइनीज फूड। Okay, so these are the examples, at least 2 or 3 you have to remember, and this is all about acid. So now we will understand about the base. So now we will understand what is bases. So base. So base are the substance, they are bitter to taste. Bitter means कड़वे टेस्ट लगेंगे. So substance which are bitter. Bitter means कड़वा. Bitter to taste are called as base. Okay, substance which are bitter to taste are called as base. So in acid we have seen acid releases hydrogen ion and base releases OH negative ion. But before ion we have to understand what is the litmus test for base. So again, suppose we have one more container which have base here. It is the aqueous solution of any kind of base like sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, etc. If we will put red litmus paper over here, red litmus paper. So if we will dip red litmus paper, it is the red litmus paper. If we will dip this litmus paper over here, its color changes to blue. Its color changes to blue. Red to blue. Such substance are called as base. So we can write here base turns red litmus red litmus paper to blue are called as base. So this is the first condition. What is first condition? Substance which are bitter to taste. Okay, they are bitter to taste are called as base. They turns red litmus paper to blue. They turns red litmus paper to blue are called as base. Now last but not the least, if bases are dissolved in water, they produces OH negative ion. When, like suppose if we will dissolve NaOH, it is sodium hydroxide. If we will dissolve in water, then it will gives, so NaOH plus water equals to aqueous solution of NaOH. So NaOH, and we have to write AQ. AQ means it is the solution of sodium hydroxide in water. Okay, so when NaOH dissolve in water, it dissociate, that means it breaks down to form Na positive ion plus OH negative ion. Okay, so we can write when base or bases dissolve in water, when bases dissolve in water, they produces or they gives OH negative ions. OH negative ions are called as base. Okay, so this is all about base. So now we have to write few examples what are the bases. So example, we have NaOH, it is sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. Then KOH, potassium hydroxide. MgOH twice, magnesium hydroxide. Then we have CaOH twice, it is calcium hydroxide. It is calcium hydroxide. So these are the few examples of bases. So what are bases? Bases are the substances which are bitter to taste. They turns red litmus paper to blue, and when bases dissolve in water they gives or they produce as OH negative ions are called as bases. Example, we have sodium hydroxide, we have potassium hydroxide, we have magnesium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide. Okay, so here we have completed our bases. So if you wanna write, you can write or you can take a screenshot also. So now we will understand about the salt. So what are salt? So here we have understood that what are acids? Acids are the substance which releases H positive ion. And what are bases? Bases are the substance which releases OH negative ion. So H positive ion is released by acid. That's why it is called as basic radical. It is called as basic radical. Basic radical. And OH negative ion is called as acidic radical. Acidic radicals, because this acidic radical is going to neutralize the acid, and this basic radical is going to neutralize the bases. Okay, this will reduce the basic strength of the base and it is going to reduce the acidic strength of the base. That's why acidic strength of the acids. That's why OH positive ion is called as basic radical and OH negative ion is called as acidic radicals. So now on that basis we have to understand what are salt. So salt are the substance, they produces ion except basic radical and acidic radical. That means except those ion, okay, ये वाले ion release नहीं करेंगे. Except those ion, such compound releases other ions. Like if we will take example of sodium chloride. If we will take example of sodium chloride, it is NaCl. It is the table salt that we are using every day in our food. Okay, बिना नमक के खाना बनता ही नहीं. So this is nothing but the table salt that we are using every day in our diet. So if we will dissolve NaCl in water, it will dissociate to form Na positive ion and Cl negative ion. So do we have here OH negative and H positive? No. So the substance which releases ions except H positive ion, that is basic radical, and OH negative ion, that is acidic radical, are called as salt. Okay, so what are salt? So first, salt are salty in taste. नमक कैसे होते हैं? नमकीन होते हैं. So we have to write salt are the substance which are salty. Salty means namkeen. To taste, are called as salt. Which, see, litmus test we have to understand later on. Okay, otherwise salt they do not gives litmus test. Salt do not gives, or salt does not gives, does not we can write, doesn't gives litmus test. लिटमस टेस्ट, अगर हम लिटमस टेस्ट देखेंगे सॉल्ट की तो वो एक्चुअल में नहीं देते, बट फ्यू सॉल्ट्स दे गिव्स बिकॉज दैट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड लेटर ऑन. ओके, सो नाउ थर्ड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ आयन. सो सॉल्ट आर द सब्सटेंस, salt or the substance which produces ions rather than basic radical. That means H positive ion and acidic radical. Acidic radical means OH negative ion are called as salt. So these are the three conditions that we can identify what are the salt. Okay, so now we have to write few examples. So NaCl, it is sodium chloride. Then KCl, it is potassium chloride. Then MgCl2, magnesium chloride. Etc. Like we have so many compounds in our surrounding. So this is all about salt. So we have one more concept that we have to understand. So this is all about the acid, base and salt. So what is salt now? The substance which are salty to taste. Substance which are salty to taste are called as salt, or they do not give litmus test. They do not use litmus test. And salt are the substance which produces ions. They produces ions rather than, that means इनको छोड़कर, किन्हें, rather than the basic radical, that means OH, and acidic radical ने H positive and OH negative को छोड़कर other ions को वो release करेंगे, ऐसे substance को हम बोलेंगे salt. And examples are sodium chloride, potassium chloride, magnesium chloride, etc. Okay, so this is all about salt. So अभी तक हमने क्या क्या पढ़ लिया इस चैप्टर में? हमने पढ़ा है अभी तक एसिड्स, एसिड के डिफरेंट कंडीशंस, ऑन व्हाट बेसिस वी हैव टू रिकॉग्नाइज द एसिड, देन बेस एंड सॉल्ट. सो आज के लिए इतना ही. अब हम मिलते हैं हमारे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में. ओके, सो अगर आपने अभी तक हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है, सो प्लीज़ डू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब आवर चैनल, एंड अपने फ्रेंड सर्कल में जितना हो सके इस वीडियो को शेयर कीजिए, सो दैट आपके जो फ्रेंड्स है, आपके जो क्लासमेट्स है, वो इस यूट्यूब चैनल से पूरा का पूरा एजुकेशन ले सकते हैं विदाउट एनी कॉस्ट. ओके, सो बाय फॉर नाउ.